document should be already open. Just give me a sec and I'll share the screen with you when I've got it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just opening now, so I'll just sharing screens now, and you should be able to see what I'm seeing in 2 seconds. Okay, I've just gone full screen instead. That was not what I wanted to do. Excuse me. Share screen. Okay. Application windows, and that should be the Google Docs. So presumably you found your way in here to the UX folder.
Yep.
Yep. And so the workbook I'm opening up now has a whole bunch of questions on it, and that's the collaborative process. So before you started the actual logo design, we wanted you to work through this with 3 or 4 people. So that's where you can kind of talk to everybody using the WhatsApp to get in touch and arrange a sharing session. You can use Google Hang as well. Just make your own meeting. Failing that, you could sort of do this with family members and take photos of you interviewing people. So you actually have to do this process. So what we want you to do is define the problem. And so what I mean by that is decide what audience and what purpose this app has. So it could be that you're designing specifically an app for a group of people who are vegans or have allergies, and therefore the app would need to have things like an ingredient list. It might be that you're designing an app that's aimed at gym owners and gym members, and you want the app to have a calorie counter in it. So that would be a very different group of people to design for than your average family that just wants the equivalent of a Domino's pizza. They just want something fast. And right now you've actually got a whole bunch of people who are at home, and maybe there's somebody that needs lunches for their kids. So it would have to be a very family-oriented, family-friendly, even child-friendly looking logo, etc. So, and the features on it would be different. There's no way you'd want a calorie counter if you're trying to get sandwiches made for small children, for example. And another group could be corporate and events planning and or catering companies, and they want an app that really has high quality produce. Can actually, you can click on an image and guarantee the source of. The beef has been sourced from non-destructive, sustainable practicing, it could be anything like that. So that's why I want you to do this process before you design the actual logo, because everything you do, you need to be able to justify in terms of why you would choose those colours, the look and feel of it, and what are their goals. So don't assume. You want to actually interview people and get an idea of why you think they'd be using it. So like I said, different groups would have different reasons, and you have to make a decision about which group you're trying to design for. So you'd interview people and you'd say, well, when generally do you order food? So notice we're talking about food, not sandwiches. So that means you can be talking to anybody about who's ever ordered food about their reasons for ordering and why. So you get a sense of why people order it, what's the context. They order it on their way home, when they're in an Uber or on a train, or, when are they ordering it? Where are they when they order it? Then this is really important, is asking them about bad experiences that they had, and lots of people will have things they've experienced that put them off. Maybe they have to go through too many screens before they get to actually place the order, and they don't want to do that. They don't want to sign up for a newsletter or a quick return button, or they don't care about that. They just want to straight go there, or the order doesn't come. How do they get back to somebody if the order doesn't come? So when you get into these pain points, there are things that go wrong and frustrate people, and you need to interview some people and make some notes about that, because you want to head off that experience. So you want to map out a typical user journey So this is still generic, right? So we're still talking about food, not specifically sandwiches. So you're kind of modelling what happens. I'm hungry here, something happens, and then I get my food and I eat it here. What are all these steps along the way? So you might need more circles than these. So there's a space here for you to draw your own one. So the idea is you would download this booklet, fill it in, and put your sketches and everything in this. So when you're doing this diagram, you're going to sort of circle in red and identify the steps at which it's possible something could go wrong based on what you've understood about the journey that most people have when they're ordering food. What are the typical things that could go wrong? And you make a little note. You know, at this point in the journey, I'm placing my order, and I, don't know how to contact people if it goes wrong, or how to go back a screen, or something happens. Yeah, so there's things that could go wrong that put you off the whole experience, and want to identify those so you can avoid them in your design. The next part you can do individually, right? So that whole section up to here you need to do with other people, right? So you're interviewing people, fellow students ideally, or if not, victimise your family, I guess. They've got nothing else to do, so you can interview them. So here you do what's called a persona. So you identify a generic group of users and identify why they would be motivated to use the app, who they are. So it's not a particular person, it's like a summary of a group of people. So 3 kind of different people, different age groups that you think would be likely to use the app, and what are their needs and goals, and what would they find painful. So that you can do individually, and so you fill that in, and then I don't expect you to go past this point, because it's at this point that you've really got enough information to really go away and do a very specific, sorry, I jumped out of that, don't know why, a very specific design with your app. Yeah, so at this point, when you've completed this, it shouldn't take you too long, and get on I put you on WhatsApp so you can talk to Natalie, for example. She's got lots of experiences with difficulties because of allergies. So those are a set of needs you wouldn't necessarily understand because you've never encountered them before. That's not your personal experience. So the idea is that you get past your own experience. And what we're stepping through here is what you would do, what is done, it's industry practice. So we're trying to give you an experience that's very close to what you'd experience if you were actually to pursue UX design as a career. And of course we are looking at it because there are quite a lot of jobs in that area. So inside that resources folder, can you see it? You still seeing it? Okay, you're going to look at these slides and just go through them yourself, like after I've sort of shown you this, you might go back to it. Sorry, I've just got to... okay, sorry, I'm just better off to show that locally. No, lost him. So sorry.
I can view these files just fine. It's
yeah,
all right.
You can see them. Yeah, so go through the slides because it'll give you a better understanding of particularly what the persona is. Did that just... what is that doing? Am I still screen sharing? Oh, did I lose the... hang on, go back.